You're listening to another great podcast in the MyMac Podcasting Network.
Hello and welcome to the Essential Apple Podcast, where we normally take a look at the news, views, reviews and roundups in the world of Apple and associated technology over the last 7 to 10 days. But this time we're having a Christmas party. So this is the Essential Apple Podcast Party.
I think I've just gone diabetic with that intro music being so sickly sweet.
Right, well, hello listeners and welcome to the
Christmas show.
I've baffled myself. I'm not going to say Christmas show. So, hello listeners. Shut up.
Okay, as long as we're in a holiday spirit.
You spent the last 3 shows not being able to say your own name properly.
Right.
It's already going downhill, isn't it?
It's somewhere to go downhill. We maintain a consistent level of this podcast.
Well, you know, momentum and everything.
With its standards.
Right. Hello, listeners.
How can you talk if you haven't got a brain?
I don't know.
All right, I'll stop.
Right. Hello, listeners, and welcome to the Essential Apple Podcast End of the Year Party. Because there will not be a show next week, I'm going to have a lie-in, probably with a blinding hangover. But anyway, we're having a party, and so I'm joined by Mark. Hello, Mark.
Hang on. Right, now I'm going. Today I'm sponsored by the Moore Beer Company with a lovely little number called Sticks and Bones. It's a smoked dark ale at 4.7%. And bearing in mind I've still got a hangover, let's crack on.
Okay. I'm also joined by Donny. Hello, Donny.
Hello.
Oh, that's not bad, actually, that.
We have Guy from the MyMac podcast. Hello, Guy.
Hello, and thanks again, Donny.
Oh, you're welcome.
Donny knows what I mean.
Yes, he
I know it
does. And we have Karl from the Mac and Forth show. Hello, Karl.
Hello, hello, hello.
Well, welcome to the insanity that is going to be this podcast. And if I take any of the stuff I recorded before we started and put it in the after show, people would know what we're talking about. So,
Well, there is one. I have one question.
I'm just going
Why
to
is,
get a glass.
why is it that I'm running an ad on my podcast that has Karl and Mark in it, but you're the host of the Essential Apple podcast?
yes, I did send you another one.
I know, but it was too long. It was like 2 minutes long. Got to be under 60 seconds, dude.
Oh,
And
well,
bumpers need to be around 7 seconds.
I will cut it down. I will send you another one that's cut down. There we go.
Okay.
Right. So, there we are. This is the Christmas and end of year podcast. And, well, it's just going to be insanity, to be honest. I'm going to start with what am I drinking? I am drinking a large mug of tea with a good shot of whiskey in it. There you go. That's my festive tipple. What are you drinking, Karl?
Nothing. Surprisingly enough, I know.
What's wrong with you?
I know. It's too early. Look, it's like 3:30 in the afternoon. I can't do that. I'm at the age now where if I start drinking now, I'll be asleep by 6.
That's enough to on it.
No, you don't have a power nap. You just sleep now when you get to this age. That's all there is. There's no power napping. All those days of my youth have gone. And now it's just like, oh, I feel tired now. I'm going to put my feet up and...
Yeah, that's the one. Oh, here we go. Oh, well, there's a message from Bart. It's not a message from Guy. Right, he's coming on. Bart will be joining us. Bart Busschots is joining us. He's running a little late. There we go.
Oh, that's right. Now, he's bound to be drinking. He's from Ireland. If he's not drinking, then we know something's wrong.
Well, if he's not, he will be before the end of this show.
Yeah, too right. Too right.
I don't even know what we're talking about on the show. Hang on, I'm just going to keep.
Well, there's nothing new there then, Mark.
Just friend. Hang on.
Well, let me see. We were going to have a quick roundup of the year, which I blatantly stole from Karl on his last show.
Well, you didn't ask Donny what he's drinking.
Oh, no.
Yes.
Oh, I expect he's drinking.
Nothing.
Nothing, see? Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
what?
I'm having coffee in my pajamas,
Very good.
but they're not mixed together
I
because
was
that
going to
would
say,
be gross.
surely it's better to put the coffee in your mouth and your body in the pajamas.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
You've not tasted his coffee.
or my pajamas.
Well, yeah, thank you for that. That's a thought I don't.
It's still morning for me and Guy.
I know it is. Yeah, well, I don't know, 9:30 or something there. I don't know.
10:30.
Yeah, 10:30 on the East Coast.
It's all right. We won't give you any spoilers for what's going to happen.
No, that's true. We won't. Right. Well.
Your Plex server, Carl.
Sorry?
Am I? Oh, yeah, we're recording, aren't we? Am I still on your Plex server?
I have no idea.
That's a bit.
Ask him on
field.
Twitter.
That was a totally left field, wasn't it? Oh dear. Oh, right. Okay. Well, shall we start? Shall we start off with highlight of the year, everybody? What I'm going to go around and see. What do you think was the highlight of the year in tech story terms? Obviously. There we go. Who wants to kick off? Carl.
The highlight of the year, not so much tech stories, but my highlight personally of the year was getting my hands on this lovely iPad Pro. Oh, I love it so much.
Oh, yeah, but that sounds like a pretty good highlight to me. Mark?
My retirement from podcasting, I think, was the highlight of everyone's tech year.
Yeah, I want to change my answer.
I didn't know that you can't. You get a little lightning thingy. That's only for headphones. You can't bang a microphone into it.
On what?
Sure, you can. You just have to use a USB camera adapter.
Oh, you got to go down that route. See,
Yeah.
Because I bought a lav mic because I was doing my soon-to-be time now. That's just a working title, and it sounded
Really
Just ripping off Guy now.
no.
It's okay. I'm used to it now.
Guy doesn't drive a van.
Right.
So,
okay.
so it's completely different then. Okay.
So, have you got any other highlights then, Mark?
I got walkie-talkie to work today.
Okay.
Wait, what about that fishing game, Mark?
Oh, Jesus, flipping get the sense. Oh, that thing, that wasn't the highlight. That was my soul being sold. And you know what? And you know what really winds me up about that is I actually bought my first ever in-app purchase on a game, so I feel dirty.
Well, you might want to save that for the lowlights that's coming, coming afterwards. Right, Guy, highlight.
Yeah. For me, it would be the Mac Mini Pro.
Yep, I think a lot of people would probably agree with that. Right.
It's a machine. It's amazing.
It is a lovely.
No,
It's the graphics card on it, but then again, I suppose like if you want to buy a graphics card, you got to go and buy a $200 Thunderbolt enclosure, then a $200 graphics card.
And you're saying that's different from a Mac Pro because
Yeah, I mean, the Mac Mini is they're sort of like positioning it as a sort of server-based thing now at the moment. So if you want to use it for desktop stuff, yes, you'd have to go and get an additional graphics card, which is going to cost a little bit more.
Yeah, but you could outfit a Mac Mini as pretty much a Pro for under $2,000.
Bargain.
Yeah.
Or if you want to do some gaming and you want to, the best graphics card.
Don't use a Mac, the gaming.
It's called a PS3.
Yeah, exactly, or a PS4 or an
Is it
Xbox.
that remote computer servicey thing where basically you shut over the internet?
GeForce Go or something?
Yeah, is that the one? GeForce Go?
The Nvidia one, yeah. I got in on that this year, and I was playing with it. The problem is I've only got one game on Steam, which is Half-Life 2, but yeah, it works.
Okay, because the
How
other
was
one.
the lag?
But there's actually some machines where you actually buy, rent a PC for a month. And so I was thinking, okay, that'll be interesting. 'Cause I'm addicted to Phoenix Point at the moment.
What was it? Cloud gaming PC. Let's have a look. I can't remember the thing, but Vortex Cloud Gaming for Android PC and Mac OS. Is that the one? It seems like there's several of them actually.
It would be nice if that was the future. I know people would have to subscribe to it. The fact that you would not have to your own
Parsec. There's one here.
actually upgrade it.
One here called Parsec. That's not the one we were talking about earlier
Well,
in the year. But
whichever one is, it's associated with Steam.
yeah, I don't know which one is associated with Steam.
Looks like Shadow it's Vortex Cloud Gaming.
That is the one. Vortex.
Channel, that low spec gamer, he tried a couple, so I might try and find that and put it in the show notes.
Okie dokie.
That looks kind of interesting. I've never even heard of this before.
I think there's several of them. I think it's starting up. The idea being that you you stream the game. They're being played in the cloud on powerful gaming rigs and then streamed to you.
Yeah. But the cool thing about it is seeing how it's already associated with Steam, whatever games that you already own, you can already play almost anywhere.
Yeah, very much so. And the other one,
I just watch other people playing. Yeah.
Yeah. And what was
on YouTube? On YouTube, it's less stressful that way. I remember when games used to be relaxing. Now they're the most stressful bloody things on daily basis.
Oh dear. Yeah. Okie dokie. Donny.
I will go with the Mac Mini because I'm actually using one right now.
Oh, is that one of the new ones?
Yep.
Awesome.
Yeah, Donny bought a new one, didn't you?
I have the base model, but it's working great for me. It does everything I need it to do.
Yeah, I got last year I bought a 4.2 gigahertz 27-inch iMac, and I'm very, very happy with it. But I really kind of wish that this new Mac Mini had already been out, because honestly, I probably would have gone in that direction.
I had a 2011 iMac, so I was due for a
I was on a 2010 Mac Pro.
But can I ask a question? Do we think it's a good upgrade, or do we think it's a good upgrade because we've been waiting so long for the Mac Mini to get updated?
It depends on what you're upgrading from.
Right. For me, it was a good upgrade. I have fewer spinning beach balls. I couldn't even put Mojave on my old iMac. And there's stuff, all of a sudden it'll say, do you want me to do this? I didn't even know the Mac could do that. And because the other one was so old that even features in the OS, the operating systems I could install, there were so many features I couldn't use because it wasn't supported.
Yeah.
So that's a good upgrade.
It is a good upgrade. I think
for me, it was good.
I think that the Mac Mini, the current Mac Mini, was a very good update, because the previous Mac Mini was a bit nerfed anyway, wasn't it? Compared to the previous.
Well, the whole thing with the Mac Mini up until this latest one, it was basically filled with laptop parts. So you were getting, in essence, a MacBook, not a MacBook Pro, but a MacBook, but in desktop form. So with the new Mac Mini, they've gone to 4 and 6 core processors. You can it's all SSD now for however much you can afford as far as storage goes, and that you can add in easily your own graphics card on a Thunderbolt 3 connection. It just makes it an awesome little machine, and it's all in this little tiny box. Of course, then you have to have all of your other stuff put off someplace else. But there you go.
Very good.
I was afraid of getting worried about just getting the base model, but it's for what I do, it's more than ample. But I do a lot of more stuff on the iPad graphically now than the computer. But I run Affinity Photo on it, Designer.
Well, what did you do? What did you do the Vert Shark stuff with?
The iPad.
Wow, really?
Procreate.
Because that stuff looked fantastic.
Oh, did you do the? I wonder who that shark guy was.
Yeah, that's me.
What's all that about then?
Well, do you want me to get? I'll talk about it if you want me to.
Well, may as well.
It's not my show, so I didn't want to take it over.
Go on. Well, if I'm going to still driving in a van, which, by the way, I need to have a discussion about lav mics and stuff.
Okay.
And car mics.
Basically, what happened was I had a bunch of different websites. I had MalteseCube.com. I had MTTFGo.com. I had thiscom, thatcom, and it was like, what? Nobody is going to these sites. So why don't I take everything that I do, condense it down into one site, and it'll be much easier for people to ignore, other than trying to go to multiple sites to ignore. So that was basically the whole reasoning behind it. And I'm going to let all the other domains expire, but the one I really wanted, and I had originally, was MacParrot.com. I had used that as this goes way back, as kind of an iWeb kind of test platform. And once I got done with what I was writing for that, I let it expire. And then later on, like a couple years ago, I was like, well, you know what? I should probably get that domain again and do what I'm doing now with Vert Shark. But somebody had snagged it and wanted like a couple of grand to get it back. And it was like, you know what? you just hang on to that domain. You pay that money per year for macparrot.com because it's so in demand, and you let me know how that works out. So that was how vertshark.com got started.
And if you Google Mac Parrot, you get images for eyeshadow makeup.
Yeah. If you go to the
side business.
Yeah, if you go to the Internet Wayback Machine and look up Mac Parrot from, God, I don't know, 5-10 years ago, you'll see the original iWeb site that I created along with a flashy GIF that I had in the header. It was quite hideous. It was really the HIDs.
Was that a knock at the door? I heard a knock at the door.
Yes, indeed. There it is. Look.
There's somebody at the door.
There's somebody at the door. There we go.
There's somebody at the door.
Hello, it's Bart. Come in, Bart. Come in.
Howdy, folks.
What the devil are you?
Grand.
One Irish moment per show. Now, what are you drinking?
I am drinking Jameson Black
Yes!
Barrel.
Oh, well done, that. Well done, that man.
Rely on the Irish to get drunk with you.
There we go. Yeah, no, it's
You see, Bart, they are obsessed over what alcohol people are drinking, and for Donny and me, it's like 11:15 in the morning.
Oh, yeah, but that old chestnut. Well, yeah, but it's going to be Christmas Eve for you sooner than it is for us. You might as well start drinking now.
That wouldn't be sooner for us.
Do you know how the Earth works, Mark?
All right, Mark, you should be cut off right now. No more drinking for you until this podcast is
keep
over.
going.
No, they will be later than us. If we had Wayhan or Pietro on, then maybe. But
or if we move the international date
They're not drinking. It's not my fault.
so, but
I'm up. What am I going to do? Look forward to washing the car. Well, do it slightly drunk. Just keep the buzz going. Slightly consistency. About 2 cans an hour. Happy days.
Right.
What are you going to do today? Realistically, the Sunday before Christmas.
So, Bart has joined us. Bart from the Let's Talk podcast. Hello, Bart.
Hello.
Hello. So, we're amidst the chaos. We are attempting to have some sort of structure to this show.
Yeah, good luck.
Yeah, run as fast as you can, Bart.
So, we've just done highlight of the tech year. So, what is your highlight of the tech year?
My highlight of the tech year, I think, is I don't know what you guys picked, so to stop me, I have a few spare if I'm repeating someone else's highlight.
Doesn't matter.
We've already stolen the show off Karl, and I've just nicked Gaz's idea, so don't worry about it.
Well, to me, I think it was the resurrection of the Mac Mini. I think is sort of my highlight.
Oh, that's 3 votes for the Mac Mini. That's 3 votes for the Mac Mini. That's very good.
Wow.
Yeah, it is. I think my highlight for the tech year, I think, was the Apple Watch 4. I have to say that was mine. I'm never going to have one, or not until many years down the road, because I'm not prepared to pay £400 for one. But as a piece of tech, I thought it was brilliant, and I thought that was the highlight of the year for me.
That was my spare to put up as number 2, because I really was torn between those two.
Yeah, and I think the other one, of course, Karl picked the iPad Pro. So there we go. So not unsurprising for a bunch of Apple-loving geezers, I suppose. There we go.
It's all Apple stuff. I'm stunned.
Oh, no, there we go. And now we are going to move on to this year's lowlight. So I'm going to start. I'm going to start this one. And for me, the worst tech news of the year was probably the Cambridge Analytica scandal and everything else related to Facebook being scumbags.
That's fantastic. What are you talking about?
Facebook being scumbags is the low light of the year for me. Right, Karl, you. What's your low light?
We're just going to brush over the other one. Okay. Tech reporting when it comes to financial analysis of Apple. I mean, what are we doing? Why do we waste our time on this bloody thing? It's got nothing to do with us as real users. It's just their little thing over there on the financial markets, which none of us truly understand unless we're in finances. And it's all a con anyway. It's all about them making money off other people who they also know in various fields. And that's why the stock tanks and then suddenly it will go up again and then it will tank again, because it's just ripping off the average person as far as I'm concerned.
That's fair enough. I think that's probably a very good choice, I would say. But
we could argue with me.
No,
well, what's it you were going to mention?
I'm not going to argue with you because I agree with you, Carl. I think.
You know what? Let's go now. We might as well make this really riveting and go now look at the Apple stock price, because everyone seems to be having a tizzy over that at the moment.
Well, you know,
Apple stock price goes down, but I just seem to get the impression that they really don't care about their stock price, or is that just?
Well, there's nothing they can do about it, is there? The stock price goes up and down depending on bloody market makers and stupid rumours and all sorts of other.
And it doesn't matter to the company because they have enough cash on hand that their stock price could go to zero and they could run just fine for years and years and years.
Yeah, you know, with however many billions it is they've got piled up in the basement there, you know.
Yeah, they could just do a Dell and turn themselves private if things go really bad. You know, the stock tanks all the way down, then becomes cheap. They have lots of money. They just buy it and go private.
Yeah,
you got to remember that stock, stock is put out there to help a company finance themselves, and once that stock is sold and the company receives the money from that stock, they don't get any more money from that. So, what's the other than, of course, people that work in the company that own stock, but the company itself doesn't benefit from a stock price going up or down.
Well, except that talent retention is much more difficult if people are counting on their stock options to.
Well, I just meant financially.
Oh, but that is, I mean, Apple's core is that they're imaginative people, right? If they start to lose that, then their products will suffer, their bottom line will suffer. It won't be immediate, but it will be a really big deal.
I've just gone and had a look on the old stock price things, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to click on 5 years. And guess what? There is a trend. Just before November, December, usually in October, the price spikes. And then if you go along the timeline, oh, look at that, it drops in the new year. time and time. And you go, what a surprise.
I'm stunned. Yeah.
Has anyone noticed, by the way, on how negative Forbes are with Apple at the moment?
Oh,
and Bloomberg.
Noticed that.
Yeah,
Forbes have always been, especially their contributor network, they've always been down on Apple.
I like to keep up with the pace of everything.
Yeah, well, anyway. So, Bart, what do you rate as the low light of 2018 in the tech sphere?
Well, I've just heard their name mentioned, but I think it's Bloomberg's completely unfounded big, what do they call it?
Yeah,
big hack story. That seems to be a big whoopee. I mean, if it were true, it would be spectacular. However, if they could have provided us with anything to back it up, it would have been great. And it seems the more time goes on and the more other papers try to replicate their reporting and the more other people are trying to find any evidence whatsoever to back the story up, the more everyone falls flat on their face. It appears to not be a thing.
Nope. What was it? Last week, I think, Supermicro said that they'd torn apart pretty much every server.
Well, they had an independent investigator do it.
Yeah. Basically,
they had an outside audit, and they found positively nothing.
Nothing. Not one diddly little chip anywhere. So there we go.
And the interesting thing, the illustration on the original article was an artist's impression because Bloomberg never found anything either.
So yes, that was pretty bad. Pretty close to the Cambridge Analytica, I think.
And yet they haven't recanted. They haven't said anything about it. They're just like head in the sand. Oh, please go away, go away, go away. We didn't say anything really.
Yeah, just exactly. No, exactly. Yeah. No retraction, no apology. Just they seem to have hoped that it would just disappear into the, mists of history and be forgotten about.
It's only the people like us who actually remember all this stuff. The average person with the attention span of a fruit fly.
What?
Let me just get a drink.
What?
What?
No, but it was a serious thing because it nearly destroyed Supermicro. It nearly put people out of work.
Yeah, I mean they took about a 60% hit on their stock price.
Yeah.
Yeah, for a clickbait headline.
Yeah.
Yeah, indeed. It was disgraceful, really. Absolutely disgraceful. There we go.
Now, actually, one like Bloomberg have they have a mixed track record in Apple, but they're not an organization without a reputation. But what was interesting is it was their Washington bureau wrote this story, not their tech bureau.
Yes.
So I don't think they understood what they were talking about, and I don't think they understood what their various sources were telling them. And I think this whole thing is a massive, big misunderstanding, but that does not excuse the lack of a retraction.
No, it doesn't. And in fact, most of their sources went on record after the event saying that's not what I told them.
Well, the one guy in particular who said, I was asked a hypothetical question how this would hypothetically be done, and I described a way it could happen. And then what I read in the article was what I described as hypothetical being presented as fact.
Yes.
So I think he said, either I am extremely prescient or something's not right here.
Yeah, very much so. Right, Donny.
I'm going to go way off of what everyone else has said, and I'm going to say Bagelgate. The reason why is because the whole world seemed to come freeze over what a bagel emoji looked like. And the fact that Apple changed it, like, how fast did they change that emoji? Because there was uproar over what a bagel looked like.
Yeah.
We're up there with the squirt gun and all these kind of, was it Apple replaced the gun with a squirt gun and everyone else is loving?
For God's sake, they're emojis, okay? At the end of the day, does it really effing matter?
It fights gang violence and warfare on the streets.
Didn't Google put the cheese on the wrong layer of a burger as well?
Yeah.
It's upside down, yeah.
Okay, no. Now, hold on a second. I understand that one.
Go on.
I totally agree with that one.
Exactly. Thank you, guys. When I get a Big Mac, I reverse it.
Yeah.
And then didn't they the other?
Well, now they're fighting over what the squid looks like.
Yeah,
too,
apparently some aquarium have said you've drawn the squid wrong. Oh, really?
But at least that one's anatomical, right? If they had a cow with 5 legs, we'd all point it out. So
yeah, I suppose I suppose you could defend that.
But that would become like the most used emoji of all of them.
What, the 5-legged cow? Yeah.
No one would get the joke unless they had the same OS as you. Is the problem with emoji, right? If I send you Apple squirt gun, that arrives on the other end as Android's gun, and all of a sudden I can go from having made a silly joke on my phone to something that's really threatening, and you get arrested on your phone. So that one I understood. At no point did the bagel look like a lethal weapon. So at least the bagel one was just purely people venting over nothing.
I disagree with there, Bart, 'cause it could be a lethal weapon. How do we know that bagel is gluten-free?
Well, I'm married to a celiac, and it's not fatal.
Unpleasant.
Maybe the squirt gun has acid.
Yeah, I'd still take a squirt gun with acid over a gun with bullet.
Yes. Does the squirt gun have instructions or a warning on it to say contents may contain small parts you can choke on?
I want a bagel that is completely gluten crazy that can fire a bullet.
Yes, the lesser known variety of bagels.
Exactly.
Right, Guy.
I'll add it to my bagel sticker pack for you, Guy.
Yeah.
Thank you.
The bagel gun. Right. And Guy, what is your low light of the year?
Oh, we've gone through so many changes in this particular section. I actually had one in mind, and being from Florida, it's now gone. So
What, Florida?
Yeah.
Well, that will be the low light in a few years' time if global warming keeps up.
Yeah.
Well, it would be the low point, definitely. Oh dear. Okay. Right. Well, we'll move on then. Let's move on.
What was it?
I don't remember.
Well, as anyone said,
talking about bagels, and then I got hungry, and it was like just completely out of head, out of mind.
Can I throw in a bonus one then?
Go on then.
Go on. Short. How's about where the bleep is the air power?
Oh, yes. Yes, very good. Very good. Yes. What happened to the air power? Apparently it's still catching fire in factories.
It's not like Apple to fail to deliver on something they go so far as to announce on stage and to put into their manuals and all that. So whatever they got technically wrong there, they got it proper wrong.
Well, chief engineer Tesla is working on that right now.
Apparently they got physics wrong. That's where Apple made their mistake. Thought, you know what, we need to have a crack at this old Einstein fella. In the rules of relativity. I gotta say, my technical low point of the year was actually using things like Google Assistant and Alexa. because you start using that and it just shows you how poor Siri is. So, I installed Google Assistant. I've got an LIFX light bulb, and I can go, Google, dim the lights to about a nice 25%, and it understands it.
Right.
And it just feels, I don't know, maybe it's the years with Siri of having to think like a program and go, ahoy, hoy, Siri, increase the light by 25%. You just don't feel that you can talk as naturally to Siri as you can to Google and Alexa. So much so, I've done something bad. I've gone and bought an Alexa HomePod thingy.
What? I don't think they're called HomePod. I think someone else may have that name taken.
That's the one.
But I thought actually, ironically, that its Apple is actually more free because you can define anything you want using shortcuts, whereas with Alexa skills, particularly for the skills, the grammar is all sort of pre-written for you by the creator of the skill, so you don't get the choice. You have to kind of memorize the incantation for the skills.
Okay, I'm sorry. Let me correct myself. I've been using the Google Assistant. I do apologize.
Okay, that one I don't have any experience with, because the Amazon one is extremely formulaic. It really is like magic incantations that you have to cast the spell just so.
But the Google
Swish
one,
and flick.
mind blowing.
Yes, I'm with Guy. There's a switch on the wall, and
No, oh,
No, that was a Harry Potter reference.
God, you're carrying around cash in your pocket, and why does anyone want to touch something that's been near the genital areas of both male, female, and any other denomination I haven't mentioned? It's like, why? You've got stuff near the place where you go to the bathroom. Why would you want to touch cash?
What's that got to do with lights?
Yeah, or Alexa, or yeah, okay,
Well, Einstein is all relative.
fair enough.
If you touch cash, you touch your light. If you touch your light switch, which means basically your light switch becomes a source of disease.
Why, you also touch your belt and your shoes and
OCD much? Yeah.
Yeah, let's not even bring up what happens when you eat at McDonald's.
ooh,
No, you see,
I'll bring up the McDonald's.
I've got
Indeed.
I've only got the half of toilet rolls. Just to bring you up to date, a bit of Russian roulette today because I couldn't be bothered to go shopping, and then I discovered I've only got half a toilet roll left. So,
Oh, joy, rapture! I've got a brain!
but thankfully, so far, I've had a magic one because you know when you go to the bathroom and you don't have to, how do I put this gently, do much cleaning up.
yes.
It happens, a noise happens, and
What do you mean? You aim straight?
Can we move back to whatever
Yeah,
the
where
show
are we
was actually supposed to be?
Well, it
about?
was low light, so okay.
Podcasting, there we are.
Oh dear. Right. Moving on. Shall we move on quickly?
Please.
Please move on quickly. I have one here. Something old, something new. So the idea here is something that you got or found or discovered or used for the first time, new, which you thought was cool, and something old which you still use and still think is very good indeed. So
Go first.
yes, please do.
Before anyone else thinks it, AirPlay 2 coming to the home airport thing.
Very good.
That was specific.
Yeah, because that's the only thing I could think of. I didn't want no one else to nick it. That was the problem.
He was stumped.
What do you use it for, as a matter of interest?
I hooked it up to I hooked one up to my parents' stereo. So now when they want to play music through Apple Music and stuff, they can just have it pumping out the old stereo, which they're very comfortable in using and things like this. So it works really well for that.
Cool.
Yeah, very good. Very good indeed. And what about an old one then, Carl? Have you got something that you still,
That was the old one.
Oh, okay.
It was an old airport, wasn't it?
I know, but the AirPlay 2 was new, wasn't it?
Oh, well, there you go.
That's 2 in 1.
I combined.
Two for one.
2 for 1.
It's a bog
yeah.
off.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, two birds with one scone or something, whatever it was.
I love a scone. They want an offer.
Is it scone or scone?
Well, I would
said?
say scone. I'm Irish, so what do I know?
Do they have scones in America?
They have things they call scones. They are incorrect.
Like they pretend they got bacon.
A rolling
Oh,
stone
they're very
gathers
correct.
no moss.
And corned beef.
I will challenge your corned beef. Although I will say, you probably haven't got his hands down on the whole spam situation.
Spam, 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 spam.
audience.
I should. My Christmas tip is don't start with a dark beer. You've got to build up to that. This is more like a just before I go to bed style beer. The season to drink the £3.95 Baileys from Aldi.
Dear, I can't believe it's not Baileys. Oh wait, I've just drank some. Yes, I can. Having said that, the port in Aldi is amazing. Their Ruby Port Armour, I think, is a brand name they have slapped on it. That's actually really, really delicious. So,
say, yeah, but you've still gone through half a bottle, Sunshine.
Right, Guy,
yeah.
you have lots of. You're always buying lots of new toys. So, what's your new thing that you thought was very good?
The new thing that I thought was really, really good, and I was surprised at how good it was I went to Ohio to this Audio Technica warehouse sale in Stowe, and I picked up, it's an ATM 510 dynamic microphone. And it's kind of their version of the SM58, but it's got a slightly different color to it. And it's really, really an excellent microphone. And I got it on a great deal, but I'm enjoying the heck out of this. And the other thing that I'm kind of liking that's new is in order to power a dynamic microphone, because they typically need more gain. God, this sounds like I'm doing ads. Is the just Simply Sound SS1 preamp, very similar to the Fedhead or the Cloud Lifter. It adds about 25 dB of gain to any dynamic microphone. It's really, really nice. As far as old, the thing that I've started playing around with again is some of the old Call of Duty games. So I'm enjoying those.
Yeah, very nice. Bart?
Okay, my something new is, it's an app I started to use this year that has just completely taken my heart, even though it does something that sounds spectacularly boring. It's called Card Hop, and it's basically a way to make your Mac address book not suck. Okay. So it just sits up in your menu bar with a little icon that looks like a business card, and it lets you really quickly access and create new contacts, add a note into a contact, add new information into a contact, start a message to a contact. It's by the same people who do Fantastical, and it has that same natural language text box you just type into, and magically it does exactly what you want it to do. And for the longest time, my address book just languished in obscurity, whereas now it's completely up to date and it contains all the relevant information because it is just so easy to get to. And of course, it syncs across all my devices, and Card Hop can deal with Exchange, it can deal with iCloud, it can deal with Google, it can deal with everything basically. So, I have my work contacts, I have my personal contacts. They happen to be in separate cloud accounts, but it doesn't matter. Card Hop just presents them all out to me as if it's all the same. It's just a really well-written app. It does one thing, but it does it superbly well. So I'm just extremely happy with it. So it's Card Hop from FlexiBits.
Excellent.
And it's on sale right now, too.
It is actually. You're right. Yeah. So there you go. Perfect timing. And then my something old is something I've had these for years now. So they're a thing called a Gridit, company called Cocoon Innovations, and they come in all sorts of shapes and sizes. And the one I have at the moment is basically an A4 sheet. Whatever shape they are, some of them combine an iPad case with a Gridit, some of them combine a laptop case with a Gridit. But anyway, whatever shape they are, the Gridit bit is a grid of rubberized, elasticy things, and you can slide any secure. So my laptop bag isn't a mess of cables. It is one Gridit with everything I need. All of my chargers, my business cards, my emergency battery pack, all of my cables. They're all of the dongles, because God knows we all need enough dongles these days. All of my dongles, everything are just in the Gridit. There's a place for everything and everything in its place. So if I'm just never without a charger. And if anyone ever says, "Oh, does anyone have a USB blah, blah, blah?" I say, "Yeah, here you go." And it's one thing. So it just slides into the front of the laptop bag next to the laptop, and you just have everything. So they are just amazing. I've been using them for years and years now. And as soon as I buy a new, as soon as I buy a new laptop, whatever, I need a new case, whatever, always a Gridit from Cocoon.
I have one of those for traveling, and it's fantastic.
Yeah, it's so simple, right? But it's genius. Yeah. It's just genius.
You don't have to have 50 cables thrown in a bag. They're all organized in this little thing, and you pull out what you need when you need it.
And you know when you're missing something because there's a gap. Whereas if you have a mess of cables in the bottom of your laptop bag, the first time you're going to know you're missing a vital cable is when you're, in a city the other side of the world.
Excellent. I'm looking at it now. It's very good.
I like the sun visor one. Sorry, I just woke up my Echo.
Amazon's trying to sell you one.
He wants to buy something. There we go.
Does that work?
It does on Alexa, not on women.
Oh, God, you wish.
I would never talk to anyone.
On men. I'm pretty sure that would be the. I don't think my husband would be any more pleased if I just shouted.
Exactly. But computer devices, we can still get away with doing it. That's what I'm saying.
For now.
For now, yeah. Until they go, what?
How dare you?
Oh, yeah, and I'm looking here. There's a selection of sizes, and they start from about $15.
Yeah, it's not going to break the bank, and it is genuinely great. So there you go.
That looks really, really good. Actually, I might be tempted to.
I've just cost you money, haven't I?
Well, maybe I might be tempted to invest in one of those to go in my laptop bag. Actually, which brings me, I think, for something old. I was torn here. There's a couple of things. One is my laptop bag, which is a Think Tank 13-inch laptop bag, which is really good. Still loving it. It took a lot of punishment, and it still looks pretty much as it was when it first arrived. And one of the things I like about it is that the laptop itself doesn't go into the main section of the bag. It has a padded compartment on what you would consider probably to be the back of the bag, which is just almost like like those pockets that you get to put an iPad in. It's like that, but it's at the back of the bag. It's part of the main body. It's not like a separate pouch on the outside. But the laptop just goes in there so that it's not in contact with all your cables and hard drives and other gubbins that you might be carrying around, which I rather like, because it means that you're not at risk of scratching your expensive laptop from other things that you need to put in the laptop bag. So that's one thing I'm still using. I'm still using that. That's really good.
Which model is it you have? Because they have a couple of different models for the 13-inch. They have a Think Tank Airport Commuter, a Think Tank Airport Essentials, and a Think Tank Urban Approach.
Oh, blimey, they've added more then. What was it? I'll have to have a look now. I've had it. I don't know, 2 or 3 years now.
The thing is, they all look great. So whichever one you have is probably great.
Let me have a quick look if I go to their website, and I will tell you in a moment. As for new, I think probably I would have to say the newest thing that I'm enjoying is at the moment is the Affinity Publisher beta. So there we go. It is obviously still in beta, available to anybody who wants to get the beta by signing up. It's shaping up to be a really nice piece of kit, I think. There we go.
Cool.
Right. Who's has anybody not had a go at old and new?
I'll go.
Go on then, Donny.
So as a father and an art teacher, there's this thing called Smart Sketcher Projector Kit, and this thing is really any image you can put on your phone or iPad, depending on what device you're using. And I think it works with Android too. But you send it to this projector through Bluetooth. It projects the image down underneath on a piece of paper, and a kid or anyone can just trace it, and it's pretty much like a big projector, but it's in a smaller version. The thing, when we got it, it's like so much fun and so cool to use. Something old, whenever I go away, especially if I know it's to the beach or to a water park, I always bring a waterproof camera, and I've been using the S33 for the past couple of years, and this thing takes fantastic pictures, whether it's underwater, above water. It grabs action shots pretty good, and I don't know what the megapixel is on this. Let me see. I don't know, but the pictures that come out of it are really good, and sometimes even better than my quote-unquote regular camera.
13.2, I think it is.
Yeah, that's what it says on the link. And apparently it's an Amazon's choice, don't you know?
Okay. But whatever it is, this is the second one that I've used. I've used the older model for many years, and that one died. So I got this one, and I don't leave home on vacation without it. It goes to the beach. It's sand-proof. It's great.
Nice. Very nice. Right, so has everybody had a go at old and new now, or have I missed somebody?
I haven't, but I'm going to go get a beer, so crack on.
And by the way, I've just had a look. Mine is called the Second Brain.
Second Brain?
Yes, it's called my bag. It's called My Second Brain Briefcase 13. It's
really nice. It's very elegant looking.
Yeah, that's what I have from Think Tank, the maker of some really rather good luggage, and they make a lot of stuff for photographers. That is their main.
Yeah, the stuff I was seeing, the other models I was describing were from a photography website actually, and they all look like fantastic photography backpacks.
They make some really good. I mean, they have a huge range actually. They have backpacks, rolling cases, shoulder bags.
Do they have one for 15-inch?
Yes, they do. Yes, there is a 15-inch. I think it's called, stunningly enough, the My Second Brain 15.
It's shocking. Actually, just looking at the pictures here, the little clip on the side to have headphones or something connected is just such a nice little touch.
It's also got pouches on the side that will hold either a water bottle or your umbrella, which is
Oh, well, one of those is more important than the other in Ireland.
If you look at the pictures, you'll see. Yes, it's got like an expanding pocket on the ends.
Yeah, and actually they had sunglasses in it, so I guess they're in America somewhere.
I have only one real complaint with it. It has an organizer which lifts out, which is quite nice. It's very sturdy indeed. I do have only one complaint with it. In that is it's gusseted on the main compartment, so you can't do that thing where you put it down on the desk and flap it completely open. It only opens about 45 degrees. Oh. That is my only complaint.
Is that not a good thing in terms of not spreading the contents of your bag all over a conference table by mistake?
Yes, it is. On that point, it does it does prevent you accidentally spilling your stuff everywhere. But if you are trying to rummage in the bottom of the bag and you've got a lot of stuff, it can be slightly annoying that you can't open it all the way. But
so use the organizer key.
Yes. So there we go.
And now I've got a Paradise beer, and it says on the front, and I feel a little bit dirty. Apparently, I'm now on a blackberry milkshake IPA.
Can you talk into the mic, Mark, please?
He's talking into his watch. Don't you hear?
Wow, I thought I was having like a 70s flashback there for a second.
Yeah.
Special blackberry balance is with a rich blend and soft matte. I can't read it properly because I'm having to look through my pop filter. But it's a.
Is this a bottle of wine or a beer you're describing?
It's the blackberry milkshake IPA. Hang on a sec, a bit of library.
That makes no sense.
No, milk in my beer.
Well,
I heard of milk stouts, but
yeah,
not like a milkshake.
No, hang on. The first bit that goes into your mouth isn't too bad, but then after that it goes a little bit weird.
Right. Well, before
this
we go,
is not a ringing endorsement of the whatever it was IPA.
I'm sponsored today. Well, not sponsored. I pay a bloody subscription that I keep getting cancelled by midwinter.com. And there'll be a link in the show notes because if someone signs up and gets a case, I get a free case as well.
Ooh.
Expect that plastered on the website soon.
So you're well motivated.
Yeah, that probably would have been more effective if you hadn't told people for free.
No, but we want to give Christmas presents. Give beer, get beer. I like the sound of that.
Exactly. Right, let's go down and look at the offers now. Let's have another sip. I'm not sure. I think I'm going to... Oh, bloody hell, it's 6%. Oh, bloody
wow.
Right then, what else do we need to be doing? I can handle this now.
Well, I think what we should do right this minute is we should go over to John in the hardware store. John's going to do the top 5 items of the year, I believe. So we can all go and get another drink, apart from Mark, who's already got himself another drink.
Well, why do you think I'm not going to have another one?
Well, you can do, one in each hand to sort of sip one, sip the other, Why not? Anyway, we're going to go over to John in the hardware store, and we'll be back shortly. Take it away, John.
It's been a great year at Nemo's hardware store. I'd like to thank everybody who's been listening and especially Simon and the crew and all of our amazing guests and co-hosts who've done a fabulous job to keep the Essential Apple Show alive and kicking. 5 products stick out as being the top items of the many, many dozens we reviewed here in the hardware store in 2018. These are 5 that I use all the time, that I would purchase, that I recommend, I would give as gifts, and you want to consider them as premium items for the next year and just about any year because they are so good. First one is the Grove-made Qi or Qi charger for your iPhone 10 series or the iPhone 8s. You just set it and forget it and it charges. It's beautiful. Cork with a heavy base, a nice red USB cable. Plug it in using the included plug, then set your phone on it and charge it up. That is all it does, but it does it with beauty and style and class. It's a real high-fashion, high-concept charger for your phone. From Silk or Silk Smartish is the Cable Wrangler. It's a giant, padded, stylish magnet that you set the tips of your cables on. So you put your lightning cables on there so you never lose them, and they even provide little bonus magnets that you can clip onto cables that are not magnetized. It's the Cable Wrangler from Silk or Silk Smartish. And by the way, Simon will have links to all of these products here at EssentialApple.com. The Thinium Recharge Plus 2.0 is a thin plug-in AC-powered charger for USB. It's roughly the same size and shape as the iPhone, has an AC plug, an American AC plug on it. You just plug it into the wall or into an adapter. It charges up, and then it goes everywhere with you. So your phone always has bonus charge when you need it, but not adding extra weight when you don't need it. There's a very clever push-out lightning port that provides the power. Very difficult to describe. So that's the Thinium Recharge Plus 2.0 AC charging, USB, and lightning charger. 2 more to go. The X-Free Tune from Tribit Audio are wireless Bluetooth headphones, extremely reasonable priced, very high quality for sound, very comfortable. I use them all the time when I'm watching YouTubes or I'm practicing for my guitar lessons or anything at all. The X-Free Tune from Tribit Audio, super, super affordable, tremendous value, high quality Bluetooth, over-the-ear, conventional headphones. And finally, the most stylish sleeve you've ever put around your MacBook Pro. We have the 15-inch MacBook Pro sleeve from Walnut Covers. And again, we will do our best to get the links to the products. So those are the top 5 from 2018. Happy New Year to everybody. And we'll be back in 2019 with more great products and more fabulous guests and co-hosts at the Essential Apple and Nemo's Hardware Store.
Thank you, John. And as usual, all of the links will be in the show notes. So, pressing on, shall we? I forgot to mention in my old things that I'm still really enjoying my R-Cool super cheap earbuds. True wireless stereo. Yes, those things.
I don't understand. That article on our website has been the single most viewed review we've ever done on the website.
I think that's because I gave instructions on how to bloody set the things up, and what you get, what you get in the packet is a little thing, badly translated Chinese. And if English isn't your first language, it can be pretty difficult to decode. So there you go. Right, where were we?
It isn't getting any better, by the way, so I think I might just have to down it and go for a new one, but I'll keep you posted.
Okay. Best tech / gadget of the year nominations. So let's start with Bart. Bart, what is your best tech or / gadget of the year?
How's that different to the best thing of the year?
Well, no, because the other thing was best tech. It didn't have to be a gadget.
Okay. Well, in terms of what I actually physically purchased and I'm a happy owner of, I will go the new 12.9-inch iPad Pro.
Very good. Very good. I suspect we might get another nomination for that one from Carl. Go on then, Carl.
Well, obviously, yes, that one, although I got the slightly smaller version. But as well, I just like what Bart said earlier, is also my Apple Watch 4. a lovely device. I absolutely love using it. It's what I wanted the original Apple Watch to be. It's what it was kind of promised, and then when it finally came out, it was like, oh, this is really slow. But this one is so snappy. Everything you do on it, it just reacts straight away to everything you do. There's a few apps that's still a bit clunky, but they're normally third-party apps. But I'm hoping in this year it will. Firstly, next year, hopefully we'll get third-party flipping faces, which is the only thing that's really bugging me at the moment, to a certain extent. But also that some of the bigger companies come back to the Apple Watch, because after the initial rush of, we got to have an app on the watch, to actually think about what their app actually does and boil it down to its base units, and then ship that to the Apple Watch, where it'll be a lot more useful, I hope. But yeah, I pay for stuff all the time on my Apple Watch. I listen to podcasts now and music on my Apple Watch. I track all my exercises and all that nonsense. I track my sleep as well. I can see I'm not getting enough time in bed. But other than that, yeah, exactly. But yeah, I absolutely love it. Answer messages, the walkie-talkie feature that Mark's finally got working after 6 months or something. But yeah, it's great. I love it. Absolutely love it.
Fantastic. Right, Donny.
No, I don't have anything really that new. But I guess if I had to pick, if I wanted to buy something and had the money for it, I'd go for one of the new iPads, probably, with the new pencil.
Yeah.
But I'm happy with is it 10.5 inch iPad? So
yeah, that was the 10.5. Was it, or was it 11 inch? I can't remember now.
Whatever the old smaller, not the second smaller generation was.
No. Okay, that's fair enough. Guy.
Yeah, it's a program I just recently rediscovered, and it was recently updated as well. It's Camtasia from TechSmith. And the cool thing about Camtasia, other than also being able to do software and hardware reviews where you can make things jump all over the place, it's also a pretty decent video editor. I guess the one complaint I would have about Camtasia, and it's kind of a nitpick because it wasn't really programmed or created to do this, is the fact that it only goes up to HD. You can't do beyond HD with Camtasia when you're editing videos. But at the same time, this is mostly going up to Facebook or YouTube. So do you really need, at this point, 4K to go to Facebook or YouTube? And I would say, no, not really.
No.
But it's a great program for doing tech reviews and things along those lines. I really like it.
Okay, so what we got here? Single or what's it say about it here? Just having a quick look. It's got 5-star reviews, which is good, obviously.
Yeah, but that's on their own site, so
you
got to take that with a grain of salt.
Yeah. Screen recorder and video editor. Easy to record your screen and create polished, professional-looking videos.
Yeah. So don't think of it as a $250 program. Think of it as a $125 screen editor and a $125 video editor.
Okay. Free trial is available. Free trial is available from the site, so you can try it out. It looks quite cool, I have to say. Not my thing, video editing, but it looks quite cool. There we go. Right. Mark.
Hello.
Well, what is your tech gadget of the year?
I'm going to stick with the AirPods because I'm lost without them whenever I can't find them.
Okay, well, that's perfectly good pick. I guess.
This year as well.
If it ain't broke.
I bought a second-hand iPad Pro, and I know a lot of people have said about the sound quality. Yeah, they weren't wrong, and I've only got the Diddy iPad Pro. What else? That's about it, really. I haven't got any money to buy new shiny things.
Fair enough.
My tech gadget, and my second pick would be SSDs.
Oh, yes.
Yes, very good. SSDs.
So I'm running my Mac Mini off an SD. Oh, my God. I had to boot up onto spinny disk mode. And before it even booted up, about 10 minutes after I started, I went, nope, I can't do this. I had to go back to external SSD.
Why you replace it?
Because I've got 2 1-terabyte drives in the actual enclosure itself. And plus, I'm sort of thinking that I want to sell it, but I don't know why. I kind of want to upgrade, but I don't see any reason to upgrade. It's just because there's new shiny things there.
Right.
So, I'd switch that around if I was you. I'd put your SSD in the Mac Mini and then put those two that are in there into external drives outside.
Or one. You could,
Or
one, yeah.
Damn good idea, that.
A bit like I did with my previous MacBook Pro, the one with the DVD drive in, where I took the DVD drive out and put an SSD in before my son managed to balk it for me. Thank you very much, Joseph. Yeah.
But you're not judging.
No. Anyway, as a result of someone assisting me with finance because I didn't have any money to replace it, I now have a 2013 Retina MacBook Pro, which is lovely. It's very good. Not new by any state, although I have to say, thank you to the person who sold it to me on eBay because it is spotless. He was very careful to point out, some photographs of there's a dent on the edge of the case, and in the picture it looked like it had a little bit of a ding. When I actually received it, the bloody ding is so small you can't see it without a magnifying glass. It's basically spotless. There we go. And my pick, best tech of the year, is my new iPhone XR, because I have just received it in this week, and it's very nice.
10R.
10R, XR, sod ya. It's an XR and that's the end of it. There we go. No, it's lovely. 10R, XR, call it what you will. I could not justify getting the XS, and certainly not the XS Max, 10S Max, whatever you want to call it. It's in between the sizes, obviously, so it's bigger than my 7, which is good for my poor old eyes as I'm getting older. It was a bit weird for the first couple of days getting used to the fact that everything's done with a swipe. There's no button. My muscle memory kept trying to tap on the bottom of the screen. But other than that, the notch does bug me, though. I'm sorry. I thought that it wouldn't bug me so much, but on apps with a white interface, it's still kind of staring me in the face. I'm sure I'll get used to it, but there we are. That's my pick, though. It's a lovely phone, and I'm really impressed with it. There we go. That's my pick. Right, has everybody had a go?
I think so.
Oh, I think so. Yeah.
Yes, I think everybody's had a go at their best thing. So we've been going a little while, so let me see. What shall we do now? There's a couple of stories in the notes, nothing very much, obviously, at this time of the year. What?
God damn it.
What?
Apple doesn't know how to spell Prosecco.
Oh, well, right. Apple story. Apple executive puts a number on what's acceptable for the amount of bendiness in an iPad. This was from Mashable, because there's been some stories about people complaining their iPads are bent on receival. Apple's executive, which was it? Who was it? Let me have a quick look.
One of them.
Yes, one of them, obviously. Oh, yes, I sort of.
Dan Riccio.
Yes, Dan Riccio, VP of Hardware Engineering, has confirmed that some iPads may be slightly warped, and as long as it's less than 400 microns across the iPad Pro, then that's acceptable. By the way, everybody, that's less than 0.5 millimeter. So, really, if you're worried about the fact that your iPad is apparently out of square by 0.5 millimeter, I think you need to get a life. There you go. Just my take, really.
It's easier to sell it on eBay, though, doesn't it?
What's that?
Slight Ben. It reminds me of a story on when we did this podcast years ago. Like, iPhones get hot. And it's it's hot. And iPhone gets warm.
Mm.
It's a long, thin piece of aluminium. Okay, it shouldn't probably be bent at all. But I think looking at one edge of mine in this darkened room, it does look like it's slightly bent, but it just could be an optical illusion. But as long as it works, as long as it's fine, as long as it, they said if it's more than a certain amount, they'll replace it or fix it or stuff. It's one of those non-issue things. I mean,
it should be.
It should. And also, by the way, Dan Riccio did say there that the 400 micron tolerance is tighter than on previous iterations. So,
hello?
Oh, yes, we can hear you. We can hear you. You'll still hear
we
you.
lost you for a moment.
So there we go. That was
it on ITV2.
What?
Okay.
What? Oh,
why are you watching an old TV show? Alf has been off the air for years.
No.
Elf. They were going to remake it, and then they decided not to.
Oh, no.
No, he's talking about
Elf. Please, let's not.
He's talking about Elf with blinking
Will
Ferrell.
Will Ferrell wants to go on his bike, for God's sake.
Yeah, I mean, me little bit of daylight is getting very little.
Bart, very question. Die Hard, Christmas movie, yes or no?
It is a movie set at Christmas. Next.
Well done.
Well done. Well answered, that man. Right, Bart, if you want to get off, feel free to bail out, by the way, to leave the insanity behind.
Stop it.
You can literally get on your bike.
A minute ago, now he's off for a ride. Me thinks there's a miss here.
Oh, Jesus. If I accidentally ended up on the wrong podcast, am I on your show, guy?
No, but this is kind of the way it works there, too.
Jeez, brother, isn't it?
Oh dear. No, so if you wish to leave, Bart, in order to grab what little bit of daylight you might have left, feel free to do so. Yeah, you know.
Or sanity, right?
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna take you up on that because it's been raining here literally all day. My big plan for the day was to get opening whiskey and a podcast, and it rained until just before the bloody show.
Dear. Right. So promote yourself, and then feel free to leave.
I am now a colonel. Oh, sorry. You mean the easiest link is bartb.ie because no one can spell my surname. So I do own bartbusschots.ie, but it's kind of pointless. So you'll find everything I do there, including my Apple podcast, Let's Talk Apple, which is a monthly show where we sort of take a big picture, forest for the trees kind of view on the Apple news, which is actually can be strangely revealing and interesting because sometimes you get a bit lost in the day-to-day stories. So it's nice to zoom out sometimes. And then I have a monthly photography show that could really be about absolutely anything to do with photography. Sometimes they're interviews, sometimes it's me monologuing into a mic, sometimes it's a panel show. You really don't know what you'll get, but it will be about photography and my voice will be in it somewhere.
Very good. And you can also, of course, find it at lets-talk.ie.
Indeed you can. Thank you.
All right. Right. Well, thank you, Bart. Have a, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and all the rest. And quick, go get on your bike before the daylight completely vanishes.
Cheers, much appreciated. Thank you for having me on. It's been good old crack, as we say over here.
It's been educational.
Oh, you take that back.
We still have some time to undo the educational. I hope you guys all have a relaxing and an enjoyable Christmas period, and the same to the good listeners, of course. And let's hope for lots more Apple-related fun and news and stories and tech goodies for 2019.
Indeed.
Survived the price crash in cancelling all the iPhone production in the world.
Yeah, well, that's assuming our economy survives you guys' little adventure that you're kicking off on.
Never mind that. Ours is tanking. Ours is going to go to. I don't want to. No, I'm not going.
Yeah, there. No. Let's just. It's Christmas time. We shall think no more about it.
Anyway. Yes. Let's forget about that. Right. I'll stick my head in the sand and pretend it's not happening. Right.
Yeah, precisely. Until at least January 2nd.
Exactly. Right.
Folks, thank you ever so much, and talk to you soon.
All right, then.
Bye, Bart.
Bye. Right. So there we go. That's Bart. Right. What else have we got in the notes? Not a lot, I have to say. Oh, I had some feedback from.
Well, Danny didn't think Die Hard was a Christmas film.
You and your bloody Die Hard.
No, hang on, you got Carl to blame for this because he was the one who found it on iTunes for me. Like I had a look and it was like $5.99 the film. Carl,
I'll go with Bart's answer.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah. We're all going with that. We're all going with what he said. There you go. End of discussion. Right then. I had some feedback from Richard Easton about the David Acklam GPS show. And he has said that there are some disputes over certain assertions in the Lonely Halls documentary, and refers us to an article which I will link in the show notes. Thank you very much, Richard. I said I'd put it on the show. I didn't manage to fit it in last week, so there you go. I have mentioned it. It's thespacereview.com, and then there's a long bit of stuff that refers you to the distinct article. So if you're interested in finding out what bits of the GPS documentary are disputed by certain people, follow the link and you can read what they have to say. What else? Now is the time for Apple to really market privacy to mass market consumers. This was on 9 to 5. It's an interesting read, I have to say. The main take is basically that, people like us, people who listen to podcasts, follow the tech and whatnot, are quite aware of Apple's privacy stance and what they do to protect our data and so on. But the average punter is not. And the assertion in this opinion piece is that Apple could, make capital from marketing their privacy stance as an actual feature. There we go. I don't know if
they could, but they won't.
Well,
it's sort of, how do you make privacy sound interesting? Because you think of it, like most of the people that use use the internet will probably have Facebook, so automatically they don't give two hoots about privacy and all that sort of stuff.
Well, that's possible, but I think
who would pay attention?
I don't know. I think I think I'd probably agree with it. I think Apple could, make more of their privacy stance, to the mass consumer.
It could come, but the problem is it could come back to bite them on the butt because at the moment it's not in the news, thank God, and I hope it's not in the news for a very long time. There's no big terrorist attack, at the moment. And then as soon as there is, and it's discovered they've got some sort of iDevice and the FBI or the MI5 or whoever it is wants to get access to a device, then it bites them back because there'll be a huge section of the world who will go, yeah, why can't Apple open up the privacy things? Why have they got to be so private? So it's best just to, and as people say, like people do, they don't care. Most people don't care about privacy until it's too late. And it's no way, we've had this since the internet began.
The average argument typically is, well, I've got nothing to hide, so I'm not going to worry about it. And then all of a sudden they find out, well, you know what? Maybe I do have a few things that I don't want.
But it's exactly that. I mean, and people, they've had the same passwords on the same 50 accounts forever. It's just something that people don't appreciate it until it's gone, and even after it's gone, it's a pain. But then they get over it and they get on with their lives because they feel that they're doing as much as they can do, and they expect companies to protect them, not themselves, because they expect the government to protect them. Of course, that ain't gonna happen. But I can see it for us little group here. The people to push their privacy, but in reality, I don't think that's going to be any good to them because the average person doesn't care about privacy on a real level. If you see what I mean,
that's probably true.
They love the fact that they can see what their friends are doing. They love the fact it's easy to share what they're doing if they so wish. And all the stuff with Cambridge Analytica we touched on earlier. No one cares about that. No one cares about that in the pub. They couldn't give a monkeys about what was shared. It doesn't, as far as they're concerned, it doesn't change their life in the slightest.
Well, there is that. There is that, definitely. Okay. Well, I've got, look at it. Oh, dear. No.
I would just like to say, at this point, Guy has posted in the chat room a Trump 2020 t-shirt for some reason.
You know who's really to blame for this is Mark, because he mentioned wish.com and I was going through it and saw this and it was like, oh, that's just brilliant.
Guy, if you've got nothing to do on Christmas morning, because I have no friends, family, or indeed a life, I went ahead and ordered $25 worth of Wish tabs, just so I've got something to open under my £7 Christmas tree. So on Christmas morning,
I have a Christmas tree. Yeah, don't ask. It's the whole thing.
I'm live streaming sadness. So with their family, oh, happy days. They go, we're too happy. We need to be brought down a peg or two. I want to give everyone a Christmas present. So when people go, it's not that bad, they can think of me and they've got a benchmark.
Fair enough.
But as I was saying, I think it's a good idea. I just don't think people care about it that much.
No, okay, that's fair enough. Fair enough. There we go. Now, as
well, you could challenge me if you want.
No,
you don't have to say.
No,
What email program?
I do agree. I think that it would not hurt Apple to push their privacy stance more. But as you say quite rightly, that could come back and bite them on the bum. So, although Uncle Tim, you rarely hear Uncle Tim say anything on camera without mentioning privacy. So, I suppose.
Yeah, But again, the only people who see those interviews are us
people
lot.
like us. Yes, exactly. We're not the mass market, and I just the point in the opinion piece is the author I thought quite rightly is saying only those of us in a certain kind of techie sphere really are aware of what Apple do, and the mass market, they see all this stuff, Cambridge Analytica, endless data leaks from everywhere, people's passwords and email addresses being exposed left, right and centre, and they think that all smartphones track you everywhere you go, all tech companies are sucking up all your data regardless of and Apple don't to a large extent, and perhaps they could make more of it. I don't know. Maybe it would be counterproductive. And I certainly agree with you, Karl, that pretty much the average bloke in the street, the man on the Clapham omnibus, to quote the famous saying, really doesn't probably care. So there we are. Right, now, as the listeners almost certainly know, we had Alex Sepko on a few issues back, and he kindly gifted us 5 copies of Luminar and 5 copies of Aurora HDR to give away. And people had to listen to the podcast, listen to the interview for the secret phrase, and then email me. So I am now going to announce the winners. So the winners of a copy of Luminar are Rob Raitt, Howard Greenberg, Scott Wilsey, Darren Hendley, and Alan. He didn't send me his other name, just Alan. So Alan, Darren, Scott, Howard, and Rob, I will forward your email addresses to Maria at Skylum, and you will be receiving a license key by email. And similarly, for the Aurora, Andy Joyce, Steve Hammond, Paul Cruxton, Ray Parker, and Ivor Pope have won a copy of Aurora HDR. So there we go. Well done. If you entered and didn't win, bad luck. But you can still get an extra $10 off a purchase of Luminar or Aurora with our discount code Essential Apple. So there you go.
Didn't Ray Parker do Ghostbusters?
Like something strange.
Yeah.
On in the neighbourhood.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's been kind of down on his luck, I think.
Well, there you go. He's won a copy of Aurora HDR 2019. So, his luck's looking up then, isn't it? There we go.
All right.
We also had 2 copies of Live Home 3D from Beelight. And unfortunately, I've received no entries at all for that, which I thought was a bit disappointing, but there you go. So I'm going to keep that open for another couple of weeks into the new year and see if anybody wants it. And if not, well, no listeners are interested in Live Home 3D, which is a bit sad. But
is that the iOS version or the Mac?
Well, I've got one iOS version and one Mac version to give away. So if anybody wants one, enter now. I'll give you till the middle of January, and then if nobody enters, I'll just give up on it. There we go. Right. Well, I think that's probably enough. So let's do the wrap up thing where we all shill ourselves. So Karl, would you like to go first?
Absolutely. If you like to hear me again for whatever reason, you can seek me out on the Mac and Forth podcast or find me on macandforth.com. Very
good. And Donny?
Let's see. You can look me up in iTunes. Just look up Donny Yankellow or the iBook store, and you'll see all my books, all my sticker packs. I have a new book, children's book out called Artosaurus, Artos. I'm losing my mind. Can't even spell right now. But it's called Artosaurus. There'll be the link in the show notes. It's an art and dinosaur children's book, and you got hedgehogalley.com.
hedgehogalley.com. And of course, you are on designbundles.net also.
Right.
Yes. Okay. Right.
ARTOSAURUS. I just need to make sure I know how to spell.
Yeah. Don't worry, we've all done it. Right. Guy.
Yeah, you can find me practically every single weekend, except for next weekend, over on the mymac.com podcast that I've been doing for 9.5 years with Mr. Gazmaz. And, the weird thing is not the show that we just recorded, but the one before that was our 450th show, and we didn't even realize it at the time. So at some point next year, we will hit the magic 500 shows together. Let's see, what else? I also do a show that is probably very dangerous and partially illegal called Guy's Daily Drive, where I record my thoughts and opinions as I drive in my car. Lastly, every Wednesday night over on the Facebooks, I do the Mac to the Future Go live cast that you can join in at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I guess that would be a little late over there. It'd be like 1 o'clock in the morning.
Around then.
Yeah, so, join us at 1 o'clock in the morning, and you'll laugh your keisters off. Yeah, so, yeah. Also, I forgot to mention on links to all my stuff afterwards over at vertshark.com.
Very good.
Mac Parrot. Forgot about Mac Parrot.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, there you go.
At Mac Parrot on the Twitter.
Yeah, and at vertshark on the Twitters.
Yes, and of course your your main show is also the mymac.com. There we go. Mark.
I'm on the Twitter at Ocean Speed. I'm also on the Strava. If anyone out there wants to come along for a bit of a virtual ride, because I'm on Zwift, ZWIFT. So if anyone out there wants to do a bit of an online virtual cycle, drop me a Twitter or drop me a message, and we'll do something. But I'm really slow with that, so don't expect too much from me.
Okay.
Talk down a microphone.
I am. I'm literally right up next to it. And if anyone would like to donate a microphone, feel free.
You see, you need that Simply Sound SS1.
Available via Amazon and our Amazon affiliate link, where if you shop there and you buy anything, including that microphone, we get a very small clickback. Clickback, cashback. Oh, I'm out of beer.
Right, and I, of course, am on the Twitter as at Serenak, and that's SERENAK. All of our stuff is over at essentialapple.com. All of our podcasts are also posted to mymac.com because we are part of the MyMac podcasting network. Thank you very much, Tim. Come on, Guy.
Very much. Oh, yeah. Yes, Tim. I don't have that one.
Oh, yeah. Okay. And I think that's probably about it. So, Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to everybody. For those who don't celebrate Christmas for whatever reason, a happy holiday or whatever midwinter festival of your choice you wish to insert into that sentence. And we will be back in January. So, from all of us, goodbye.
Cheerio.
Happy holidays.
Bye-bye. Merry Christmas.
Bye.
Elf has just started, and you got the darts on, and don't forget Lakeside starts on the 7th. Cheerio!
You've been listening to the Essential Apple podcast, and I'd like to say if you enjoy the show and would like to support us, feel free to go over to the website essentialapple.com, and you will find links to both Patreon and the Pinecast Tips Jar, where you can make a donation towards the costs of the show, or even if you're really keen, you could set up a recurring payment. And thank you very, very much to all the people who already do support us. We really do appreciate you very much indeed. This show is, of course, part of the My Mac podcasting network, where you can find a variety of other shows like the My Mac podcast with Guy and Gaz, the G-Men, Tech Fan with Tim and David, the Nintendo Club podcast, the geekiest show ever, the Three Geeky Ladies, Bart Busschots and his wonderful Let's Talk Apple, and possibly some more that I've forgotten. So why not go over to mymac.com, take a look at the available podcasts and take a listen.
Everybody, please stand by. And, well, we'll be right back.
And welcome everyone back to the mymac.com podcast.
All right, so let's carry on. But
I'm still laughing about something that happened just before we started recording, and we're going to talk about that right now.
I don't know if you heard, Guy, but Sal's going. Did you know that?
Yeah, I heard that. He's leaving Apple. It's a tragedy for everybody.
Oh dear, this is not going well, is it? We are so childish.
We are.
Really are.
It's the G-Men on the mymac.com podcast.
Has been the Essential Apple Podcast. Goodbye and thank you for listening.